Hey everybody, this is Brian.
Jason.
And this is the Perfectly Screwed podcast.
It is.
It is. Our listenership has went way down because I blame myself more than anybody. I've been slacking, haven't put the word out there.
Been busy.
There's still 12 of them, diehard fans that are listening. We ain't got the 100 and some we had before, but there's 12 of you that are still rocking the every week.
Well, it starts with 12 and it goes to 100. And
well, if I get back on it, if I stop slacking like a little bitch, maybe.
I mean, you did remodel an entire bathroom.
True. But how much time does it take to really drop a message on Facebook? I could do that while I'm dropping the dues, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's just, it's,
I mean, I
it's
too,
plain and, it's plain
well,
and...
my Facebook account is hacked.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so...
I didn't even know you had a Facebook anymore. Well, I thought you didn't have one for a while.
But I still had the account.
Oh, okay.
And I would use Facebook Messenger sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, I can't get on there at all.
Oh.
Which is fine by me.
Somebody got into your shit? Was it an ex by any chance?
I have no idea who it is.
Hmm.
It's funny, though, because they'll drop, like, a post.
Oh, so they actually post on your account?
Yeah, bro, they're trying to get money from people.
Oh, so it's like that.
Like, they'll drop a post saying they got puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Free puppies. Shows pictures of puppies and shit. You just got to pay the shipping.
No shit. The shipping?
And motherfuckers are asking me, like, dude, are you alright? Like,
why are you selling puppies?
Right.
Yeah.
But they were on my Messenger, too. Going through everybody.
You should have just been like, it's a side hustle. Please buy
for money, right?
Yeah.
Well,
buy the puppies.
It's genius. You hack enough people and you contact enough people, and I mean, think about it, dude. If I popped up on Messenger and you didn't know any better, and I said, "Can I borrow $100?" You know what I mean, in a jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you thought it was me,
I would just text you, but yeah, I'd be
right.
Like, so you need $100?
But you could see it.
Yeah.
You could see.
Yeah. Well, they're going to notice, though, when it's an out-of-state address. Yeah, send it to Oklahoma.
Well, no, like,
what?
Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, they don't, like, they knew, you know what I mean? Like,
Send it to
I
Oklahoma.
didn't think it was you. Like, it didn't sound like
Well, it'd be probably they do it with a
it's-
PayPal app or something.
It's funny,
so,
too,
yeah.
like, how a text message,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I said, dude, a bunch of people, like, that I hardly ever talk to, you know what I mean? People at work, or some people, like, had got a hold of my brother, my parents. Because this motherfucker's going down everybody in my Messenger list.
Oh, so he just...
You know what I'm saying?
It's probably not even one person. It's probably a computer scam. Like, he probably
Could
has
be.
an automated...
Could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of them say, like, they didn't buy on it because it didn't sound like me. But it's a text message.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? I always found that, like, texts are interesting. Because so much can get misconstrued.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're reading it through your perspective.
Correct, yeah. That's why I don't like texting, because you don't exactly know the intent behind it.
See, that's why
there's no emotional context. Like when you're on the phone with somebody, you can hear what they mean through their voice, and like you can tell through how they're saying something, whether or not they're pissed or happy or whatever, or joking. But you don't know if you're joking on a text.
But you also can learn a lot from a person by how they react to texts.
I guess. I don't know.
Well,
I don't react to Jack. I just like, hey.
Well, if you text something and you don't mean any negativity by it, but the person reading it somehow picks out negativity in it.
Oh, yeah. They could be a negative person, yeah.
Right.
Me, I don't really text. You've gotten my text. It's like, hey, okay.
See, I don't like talking on the phone. I hate talking on the phone.
My texts are like usually about 3 words. Yeah, okay. Sure. What up? Sometimes I don't even text, dude.
Right.
Actually, the like automated response pops up, and this is even lazier. Like, I'll just hit the automated response like, yeah, okay. It's not even me. I didn't even text it. It's just, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Like sometimes you'll be like, I'm here in 5 minutes, you okay?
Right.
It takes me too long out of my day to type, yeah, okay. But you know what funny is that texting is the equivalent to what letter writing was back in the 1800s. Because people didn't have phones, and stuff as as available.
But before there was texting, there was textbook.
Yeah. Well, I remember when T9 first came out, and you had to A B B B B C C C C. You had to press the letter like 30 times. Of course, I remember a time before texting too, when all you could do was call on cell phones. There was no such thing.
Yeah, but
texting.
I think it's a cycle though too. Like, I believe there's been multiple civilizations on this planet who have been at least as technically advanced as we are and have had cell phones.
Well, I think
they were texting, right? And something happened. Like the fucking power went out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the texting phone still works for a while till the battery goes dead. You might not have any internet or whatever, but the motherfucker turns on and you still got all your texts.
Right.
And if the power goes out, you're going to take the text and you better write it down.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Better write it down as quick as you can before the battery dies, you know what I mean? And that's going to create a textbook. Because, see what I'm saying? How it runs cycles?
Well, see, I think that's why ancient cultures wrote stuff on, the more advanced ones wrote stuff on tablets that they knew couldn't be destroyed. And that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Is the emerald tablets.
Uniform tablets.
Right. And I think they did that because they realized early on that texting or electronic mail can get lost over time. Even a computer. If there was a disaster right now, everything we put out there on the internet or the computer would be completely wiped away.
Right.
But if you write them on indestructible tablets, then there is no way they're going anywhere, bud. You know what I'm saying? 10,000 years from now,
Well, and that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. And, you have to be a fucking real forward thinker. Because to us, it looks ridiculous. You know what I mean? Typing text out on basically clay tablets. Take clay tablets, you fucking fire them, you know what I mean? Last thousands of years. So that's an important message that you want to last a long time. You know what I mean? This shit ain't going to last a long time. Books, computers.
Yeah, because all of that shit can be destroyed instantly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what our civilization hasn't got to the point yet where we've realized that we probably need to have something a little more permanent. Because one catastrophe and everything in our culture would be instantly destroyed.
You know what I mean? Eventually, like, we can.
Well, yeah, of course we can.
Yeah, people can cuneiform tablet right now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we're getting to that stage that somebody else was already at. You know what I mean? That's why you got to get as much knowledge down that'll last for a long time. So 5,000 years from now.
Well, just recently they learned how to make matter out of nothing.
Of course.
And this was just recent, within the past year and a half.
Nothing except nothing isn't nothing.
Right. Well, no, they learned how to make solid matter out of what was not solid matter. And what's funny is what we're going to talk about. He was talking about doing that back, 36,000 years ago? He said that he did that, and that's how he built the pyramids. And that's crazy that was in the Emerald Tablets. And we just learned as a society how to accomplish that feat that he was talking about 36,000 years ago. That up until recently was considered science fiction.
Yeah, dude. And, man, I was listening to something the other day, and the dude said that we can make holograms that you can touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they're doing now, yes. But anyways, I'll let you get on it because you know way more about this subject than I do.
Well, yeah, the Emerald Tablet. Well, the Emerald Tablets wasn't on... It was on some kind of different... What do I want to say? Surface. It's not clay.
No.
It's literally like emerald, like it's emerald green.
Yeah, they actually don't know what the tablets are made out of.
It's some kind of indestructible, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Material.
Yes. So, explain to us, what are the Emerald Tablets exactly? For people who don't know, let's assume that we're talking to people who have no idea.
They're written by Thoth the Atlantean.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, at least 36,000 years ago. Thoth is he claims in the Emerald Tablets, he built the pyramids. The Great Pyramid.
He claims he built the one on Giza.
Right.
He doesn't say he built all of them, but he built one of them.
And by built, you know what I mean? Meaning he's the architect.
Right.
And because the Great Pyramid is ridiculous. You know what I mean? The measurements are absolutely it's a computer. You can get any measurement in the solar system based on the calculations in the Great Pyramid.
Well, did you also know, I'm sure you do, but that all the pyramids of the world sit pretty much on the same exact line, 33 degrees.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is the exact middle circumference of the Earth. And all the pyramids across the world, the ones in South America, the Pyramid of the Sun, the Pyramid of the Moon, the pyramids in Asia, in China, and Japan, the pyramids in Egypt, they all sit on this same line, which to me says that they had to be orchestrated together. I mean, that's not random.
No.
It couldn't be.
Absolutely not.
I mean, you're telling me a culture that never saw each other just all decide to build pyramids right on the exact same spot?
Right.
Come on now.
No, it's creating some kind of power.
Network, yes.
Absolutely. But yeah, the Emerald Tablets are... It's what? It's just priceless wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wisdom that is relevant no matter when you're reading it. And it's a lot of what Jesus says in the Bible, you know what I mean, is taken directly from the Emerald Tablets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's just crazy, man, to think if the pyramid is 36,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To think about, that's crazy. That's an incredibly advanced civilization.
Now speaking,
in the Emerald Tablets, Thoth talks about like after the flood.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Getting sent to the land of Kim, which is Egypt. He gets there, and he says there's hairy barbarians, right? And he's talking about landing in a spacecraft.
Yes,
and coming out and talks about these hairy barbarians are coming to attack him. You know what I mean? And he hits them with some kind of beam of energy.
Yes.
Stops them in their tracks. And this is all, it's all technology that's now coming into fruition. Right? You know what I mean? Right before our eyes. The military has technology that can stun you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Emerald Tablets, you just got to read them.
Well, the Emerald Tablets were by Thoth, as you said, but they're more of a history, when I was listening to them, of a recording of, and now, this is the thing about these tablets also. The ones we have that have been translated, And a lot of people say they're not real, but they are, because many people have seen them, held them, and translated them.
Right.
So the ones we have were originally found, 2 of them were found in South America. The other ones were in Egypt and brought back to Egypt. And they were found underneath the Great Temple of Giza. But there's 4 to 5 tablets that right now the Egyptian government will not release. They will not let it be seen. They will not let them be translated. So the ones we have is a partial record of what Thoth said. And a lot of people not only contribute this to Thoth, which was an Egyptian god or demigod, quote unquote, but they attribute it to Hermes, which is right, which is a god in the Greek mythology. Mm-hmm. So now, when we speak of gods, okay, and Thoth speaks of gods too. He calls them the people of light, because Thoth does not say he's a god. Thoth never said he was an alien of any type. He said he was human. And in the tablets the stuff I was reading, Thoth says he's a human, but he's a type of human. He's an Atlantean, which he said was a human bred by the gods. So he said the gods came down here from another planet or from wherever. They had more technology than us. They learned how to defeat death. Okay? And Thoth was chosen by them to be the keeper of wisdom and to teach the other humans things.
Right.
So what they did is they came down here and they altered DNA of certain human beings to make this advanced race of humans to serve them, which were the Atlanteans and different, not just the Atlanteans, there was many of these cultures around the earth,
right,
which were more advanced than what we are now, but not as advanced as them. They were our DNA combined with their DNA to make a different type of being.
Right.
And a lot of people think that Jesus was actually one of these types of beings. It's been
100%.
It's been dictated that he was. Well, interestingly enough, did you know Jesus was the second virgin birth? It's something, if you research, and actually if you look at this, you can look at the history of this.
His grandmother or something.
His grandmother, yeah. Mary was a virgin birth too. And if you look at virgin birth, what does that tell you if you look at it in our type of technology? See, a lot of people want to take miracles.
Look at it realistically, what does it mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people want to take miracles, and what they want to do is they want to say it's miraculous, when if you add science to it, it makes more sense.
Right.
Right. So if you add science to a miracle and say, what would a virgin birth be? And actually the Bible doesn't say virgin birth. It says Mary was never with a man. So it doesn't say that it was a virgin birth. What it says was she never had sex with a man, and the God put the baby in her. Well, what does that sound like to you? To me, that sounds like in vitro fertilization. If you took a virgin right now who had never had sex with a guy, and a doctor inserted a baby into her womb, then that would be in vitro fertilization, but she would technically still be a virgin.
Right.
So if we look at it from a scientific perspective, doesn't it make more sense that maybe it wasn't that magical? Maybe it was just science that they didn't understand at the time.
Well, that's the thing. If all these tablets and things are correct and have been translated correct, then what we're talking about is an advanced civilization and a cataclysm. Mm-hmm. And it's something we can't wrap our minds around, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you've been swept away in a fucking hurricane or a tsunami or you know what I mean? Like, we are just a tiny fucking speck in an infinite fucking universe as far as we know. You know what I mean? If it's not infinite, it's big enough. We are a tiny goddamn... Like, shit can get fucking real.
Mm-hmm.
Asteroids can hit. You know what I'm saying? Volcanoes can go off. Shit can get fucking nuts.
Well, we know for a fact from geology in general.
And there was a flood. There was
flood. Every great religion talks about the flood.
Right.
And it makes sense, because if you look back at geology as a whole, right, geologists know now that there was a flood right at the end of the Ice Age. What happened was, and if you look at the geology record, what happened was it started to warm up. So the Earth was going through its natural process of getting out of the Ice Age.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, instantly, for a few hundred years, the Ice Age hit again, which should not be possible unless something happened to cause us to throw us back into an Ice Age instantly, and then instantly it stopped. See, normally when there's an Ice Age, for all of you out there who don't know, the Earth goes through cooling and warming periods. Right now we're going through a warming period. But then it goes through a cooling period and there's an Ice Age. It's a natural function of the Earth. And then there's an Ice Age for a little while, a few thousand years or whatever. And then it gradually warms back up so that it's not instantaneous. So things don't just, flood. But what happened was we were coming through that warming period, starting to warm up again. Instantly, it went right back to ice cold. So that tells scientists that something had to happen, like a meteorite, like you said, hit the Earth.
Hits the ice.
Yeah, hits the ice. Instantly,
melts
it and then freezes it again because of the dust in the atmosphere.
And then floods.
Blocks out the sun.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of an ice age, and then as that dissipates over a very short amount of time, that ice instantly melts because it was already warming up.
Or maybe it was all,
And they know...
It doesn't matter. If a fucking meteor or an asteroid big enough hits ice, it's going to melt.
Well, they know there was an ice wall in the northern part of the world.
And it talks about waters coming up from the deep, you know what I mean? And there's the story of Atlantis, or, the part of Atlantis that sinks into the ocean. It could have been both. It could have been an asteroid or a comet, along with, volcanoes and just the shifting of the crust of the Earth.
Right.
Just causing all this shit at the same time.
Right.
Right.
Well, we know there was...
And so an advanced civilization, like us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cataclysm's coming. We know it. Some people are going to escape underground.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are going to escape off Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And most people are going to be washed away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the few that live will be able to take the information we have, you know what I mean? And the best way that they can, what do I want to say? Save it in time, you know what I mean?
Right. And that's what the Emerald Tablets speak of. Well, first of all, we know that, like I was saying, that there was an ice wall. Geologists have already said that. There was an ice wall from the north all the way across the Earth. So, during the Ice Age, there was an ice wall up there. It was holding back all these glaciers and stuff up in the north. When this ice wall instantly melted, which they know, it flooded the whole entire planet. That's where the flood comes from.
Yeah.
This ice wall instantly melted. All the water it was holding back came rushing down and flooded the southern half. When that happened, also, that's when they believe Antarctica was pushed by these glaciers and this fast-moving water to where it is now, into the southern part. And it's interesting.
Yeah.
Right now, Antarctica is restricted. Completely restricted. Okay, Antarctica was originally supposed to be not owned by any country. The UN owns it. So it's for every country.
Right.
And for years, they were letting scientific exploration go on in Antarctica. Well, just in the last 5 years, they've stopped it. Antarctica is now no longer allowed to be explored in any way, shape, or form And it is restricted airspace.
Yeah, because it's melting too fast.
Right, it's melting.
Shit getting revealed.
And that's the point. What is getting revealed in this part of the world that you don't want people to see? Because now the mountains are starting to melt. And the last aerial photographs we had were of what was distinctly pyramids.
Absolutely.
Right. And people are trying to say it's mountains. But see, this is an interesting thing, and this is actually a proven fact of nature. Nature will never, ever form anything that's exactly a 90-degree angle. Did you know that? Naturally, a 90-degree angle does not form.
Right.
Cannot. Okay, that is a proven physical law. And what they're seeing in Antarctica when they flew above it was 90-degree blocks. That cannot be formed naturally. It just can't. Right. Doesn't happen. So if you're seeing 90-degree blocks with a tip on it, that's a huge pyramid. And they believe it's a pyramid bigger than Giza.
Yeah.
One of the biggest pyramids they've ever seen. So under this ice, they're finding things that they don't want us to know about.
Mm-mm.
Because that destroys the whole narrative that they've lied to you about. It proves things like the Emerald Tablets and what Graham Hancock is saying and what Billy Carson is saying. And thank God that there's scientists out there like Graham Hancock and Billy Carson that are researching this shit and saying, hey, you guys were wrong. There was an advanced, very advanced culture here. And somehow it's not here anymore, but it was here.
And it's still here.
Well, see, that's what Thoth says in the Emerald Tablets, that in the halls of Amenti, which he claims are the halls built by the givers of light, which he calls the gods.
Right.
He says that they built the halls, which...
the regeneration chambers.
Underneath the pyramids.
It's possible that Thoth is also Hermes Trismegistus.
He says he is.
And some people say he's also Quetzalcoatl.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's either Mayan or Aztec.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kukulkan is the other one.
Yes.
And that, you know what I mean? That it's possible that he's all these people. Because he lives. In the tablets it says he lives like a man, but unlike a man.
Yeah.
And that he's been in these regeneration chambers. What's he say? 10 times 100 or something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's regenerated himself. And so he goes down, you know what I mean? Basically switches avatars.
Right.
It's Avatar.
Well, he said that
Avatar,
the people of light figured out how to conquer death. So what they do is, according to Thoth, is they go into these chambers deep in the earth. He said way, way down in the earth. He said in a place that you would never see.
Underneath the pyramids.
Way under the pyramids. Like hundreds of thousands of miles. Right, they're finding the tunnels, but again, the Egyptian government, funny enough, as soon as they start finding them, they've stopped all exploration underneath the pyramids. They said it's too dangerous, quote unquote. Which it might be. I mean, you figure if these are 36,000 years plus old, it would be very dangerous to go down into something like that because they could crumble after all this time. So, but the point is, they built these chambers where, and it sounds to me like what we do, a research facility. Okay, you take it into modern times, right? If the earth was destroyed today and people built on top of our remains, you know, of this culture,
right,
you would eventually find underground labs, underground research facilities, which they have in Los Alamos and different places. Right. And that's what they did. They had an underground lab, which was called Amenti. And Thoth went down there, and what they were doing is biological experimentation on humans. And they learned how to produce bodies, which we know how to do now. We can grow a human in a test tube. We can grow a human being.
Yeah.
Science knows how to do it. So if you can grow a human being, and then you figure out how to take a person's consciousness, what makes them a person, and install it in a new human body, that's exactly what he's talking about. The technology we have today is what he was talking about 36,000 years ago in these tablets.
Right.
So that tells you that this is not new technology we're figuring out. We're just realizing it again, what other people have already figured out, and way past what we figured out.
Right. Yes, he's transferring his consciousness. You know what I mean? I'm living as Jason, but I've been here long enough. It's wearing down. I am going to transfer who I am just into your body.
Right, into this new body that they grew.
But it's me.
Right, it's still me. It's just I'm transferring who I am into this body.
Right, never died. Don't have to.
No, you would never die. You would just become a new person.
But to transfer your consciousness, I mean, we can do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible. Because we literally are computers.
Yeah, they're learning how to download people's personalities and consciousness into a computer system.
Right.
But anyways, this was episode 89. Now stick around for part 2, which will be episode 90. Big 90, man. I can't believe we're on 90. I know. We're almost to 100. We're getting there. We're getting there. But stick around for episode 90. And we will continue with part 2 of our talk about the Emerald Tablets and Thoth and different things. And as this is going, hell, next week might be 91 and 92 still on the same subject for all I know.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about in this, so we will go as many parts as necessary to complete this. So I don't know how many parts we're going to do, but we'll see how many weeks this goes. We could probably talk about this for about a month, so... But we will see you next time.
Later.